my channel. Today you guys will be seeing every time summer glow, or every day summertime glow. Apparently that was very hard to get out. It's been my go-to look lately just because it's super easy to put on right before I jet off to work in the mornings. This is my first video, so as you guys will see, I do have some stuff I need to figure out, such as lighting. I also want to get a more high-definition camera at some point, and I also make a lot of really stupid faces during the video. Yeah, they're really absurd. I'm really sorry. Maybe I'll be able to curb that in future videos, but probably not. So hopefully it just makes it more entertaining. All in all, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you do enjoy, please subscribe below. So my voice recorded probably is one of the most annoying things, and I'm really sorry. Anyways, so I'm going to first spritz my face with the Badescu facial spray. I needed a little bit of a cool off before I started my makeup. And then I am going to move on to the Smashbox primer water to prime my face. It is my favorite primer in the summertime or when it is typically like hot outside. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Revlon Colorstay Whipped Foundation. It is a bit too dark for me right now. I do need it in a shade lighter because it does oxidize to a darker color, but I will be leaving for Mexico on Saturday, so hopefully when I come back it will be the correct color. If not, I'll just buy more. So I'm going to buff out the foundation with the Morphe M439 brush. It's my favorite brush for putting on foundation. My technique is a mixture of pushing it into the skin and like almost a patting motion, and still brushing in small strokes. So it just kind of looks like I'm almost patting and painting my face at the same time. So while it may seem odd, I do find it to be the most effective in terms of giving the most even coverage when it comes to buffing out the foundation. So while I'm finishing this, I'll just let you guys know that I already did complete my eyebrows before I started filming because I'm not quite sure how to film those yet. It is one of the most common questions I get when I am out in public, how I do my brows. So once I find a good way to film them, I will be sure to give an in-depth tutorial on how I do that. But I did use the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow definer in medium brown. So back to foundation, you do always want to make sure you do bring it down onto your neck. That way you don't have some sort of weird line or separation between your face and like the rest of your body. You want it to be like a seamless blend. So for concealer, I am going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the color Sand. I do apply it underneath my eyes in a wing-like shape, I guess would be the best way to put it. And then I do put it up the bridge of my nose, on the center of my forehead, on the top of my lip, and on my chin. That way you evenly disperse the lightness on the face so you don't just look like you have these super bright under eyes. Never fun. So I will go ahead and blend that out with a small beauty blender. I typically do get them wet to soak up the extra product and create a very seamless blend between the under eye and the rest of the face. But I did forget to do that before I started filming and I didn't want to stop. So we're just gonna make it work and hope it looks good in the end. So with concealer, you always want to put it on in a back and forth motion. That way the concealer molecules get confused and they won't settle into your creases halfway through the day, because that's no fun for anybody. And not to mention, it's just irritating when that happens. So definitely a back and forth motion is always key. I always put it up the bridge of my, or not the bridge, the side of my nose as well. It's just like a quick, almost contouring trick, because I will end up contouring my nose later. So I'll go ahead and blend out the concealer on my upper lip, my chin, the bridge of my nose, and up onto my forehead. I always seem to have a little bit of trouble blending it onto my forehead. I will always go back with the foundation brush to blend out the edges to make sure that I didn't get it too overly spread, because I'm like, it will make your forehead look larger if you spread out the concealer too far. And I just had to check for blending right there, and it wasn't blended enough, so I'm going to go back in with the foundation brush to even it out. Now I'm going to move on to setting my face. I'm going to use the Lorac Contour Pro palette. I'm going to be putting a mixture of the beige and yellow highlight on my under eye with the Morphe G8 brush. I always put that on in a back and forth motion as well. I don't really have a purpose for it. It's just kind of how I do it, since it's in like a rhythm after I do my concealer and blend that out. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on my eyelids as well, because I don't want those to crease. And then I'm going to put it on the bridge of the nose, on my forehead, upper lip, and chin. That way you maintain the lightness in those areas of the face. Then I'm going to finish setting the rest of my face with Cover FX Matte Setting Powder in the lightest shade. I am going to be using a Real Techniques brush. I'm not exactly sure what brush it is. It's just like the really big fluffy one. I think it is the powder brush. I'm like, or it might be a blush brush. I'm like, I really wish the brushes would tell you, but they don't. So if I figure it out, I will list it down in the description bar below. So I'm going to hit all the areas of my face that I did not get with the highlighting powder. That way when I go to contour, everything will just glide on very seamlessly and smoothly in the process. You always want to put powder on powder, because if you try to put cream on powder, it's going to get chunky, and if you try to put powder right over cream or foundation, it's not going to blend out as well either, so you're going to have a really, really harsh line. So to contour just my eyes a little bit, I'm going to use the light color down below in the contour colors, just in the crease of my eye. As you can see, I don't really have any method to the madness. I just kind of put it on. That way there's some sort of shape to my eye, and it just kind of warms it up a little bit. I'm going to do the same to the other eye. You always want to go back and forth and do some circular motions just to make sure everything is blended out really well. You don't want any sort of fine lines on your eyes, because it will just kind of look like those creased in and you didn't quite set everything properly. So that's the reason why I have that crazy back and forth motion mixed in with the circles. So next I am going to curl my lashes right quick. This lash curler I got, I think, with one of my first sets of brushes I ever had. I think it was like a Costco pack, and so I've just had this eyelash curler ever since. I don't really like the ones with the springs, because I feel like they don't curl your lashes as well. So next I'm just going to hit my lashes with some mascara. I'm using the Maybelline Great Lash, Lots of Lashes in Blackest Black. I haven't used this mascara since I was little, and I was playing in my mom's makeup, but since they came out with a smaller brush, I do feel like it really creates that very wide-eyed, long lash look that a lot of people want to achieve when they do put on mascara. So I really feel like it does help avoid clumps. So I will go back and forth a couple times between each of my eyes. Pardon my little mirror. I couldn't really seem to find a good way to film mascara, but I at least did want to get it on camera to acknowledge that I did put it on. So I will hopefully be able to find a better way to do that next time. So I always hit my bottom lashes as well. I don't on some looks, but for simple looks like this, I do feel like it makes you look more awake, because it makes the eyes look wider and not quite as closed shut. So if you do want to look more awake, I would recommend putting it on your bottom lashes, but it really is a personal choice. And then I am going to move on to contouring my face after I get done playing with my hair. It was like 1,000 degrees when I filmed, so I had like a fan blowing on me, so my hair was just not having it. So I'm going to go back to the Lorac Contour Pro palette, and I'm going to be using deep and medium to contour my face When I contour, I always line up where I make the strokes with the edge of my ear. That way it creates like a nice angle from the top of your ear down towards the corner of your lips. I do kind of go in more of a rushed circular motion just because I do want the line to be super blended out. And I do go in a couple times with the darker color just because I do like a strong contour. You don't have to. And I always recommend going lighter and then adding in as you go. That way you don't get too dark too fast and end up having just this very dark line on your face. It's not fun for anybody, or cute. Not cute at all. So I always end up contouring the sides of my forehead and the top of my forehead just to add a little bit more warmth back to my face and to contrast the highlight we put on there earlier. And I always hit my jawbone as well. So I'm next going to contour my nose. It's something I've been super obsessed with lately. I don't really know why. I do actually have a pretty straight nose to begin with. I just think it adds that extra little oomph to your look. So I'm going to go in again with the Lorac Pro palette in the color medium with a foundation brush. And by foundation brush, I mean the ones that look like little paint brushes because they create very nice, very straight lines on your nose that will easily blend out. And if you get too dark, just go back in real quick and tap your foundation brush over it. Oh, have a little dance break. I was listening to music. So, momentary stoppage in the actual putting on of the makeup. So next I'm going to move on to blush. I'm going to be using the Morphe blush palette. I am using the color in the middle. I'm not exactly sure what color that exactly is, but I will try to find it for you. It is like a very nice light pinky rosy color. Just using it just for like a little bit of color on my face because I do feel a little naked when I don't wear blush. And the Morphe palettes are super cheap, so it's nice to get one of the big ones and have so many different colors to work with. Then I'm going to be going in with the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal to highlight the top of my cheekbones. I'm using a Real Techniques brush. I'm not sure which one it is. It basically looks like a smaller version of the big one that I used earlier. I just find that it helps with placement and it blends out the highlight really well so it doesn't end up looking all chunky, which is nice. And I'll also go ahead and hit the bridge of my nose and my Cupid's bow just to balance out the highlight. And then to top it off, I am going to blend everything out because I don't want it to look like I just have a bunch of chunks of color on my face. That way you just have like this very nice glowy bronzed cheekbone. And that is going to be it for my look today. And I am done. Oh, gonna sneeze first though. So I hope you guys enjoyed the look. And I will link all the products down in the bottom bar for you. Thank you for watching.